Okay. All right. Nathan, do you want to share your screen like yesterday?
Yep. Doesn't have your email address saved.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Okay. How was the training yesterday? Was it okay?
Good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I have a suggestion for the thing that we came up just before the end of the training regarding
Yes.
those dates, right? Um, there is nothing. I mean, it is. I wouldn't know if it's a limitation or it's a design flaw or whatever. But the thing is, what I would suggest to do is all your high value items. Okay, I am assuming you don't keep them in stock beforehand. You only order them when you get a order from the customer.
Oh,
Do you do that?
I like our issue is not based on value.
Okay.
It's
Fine, Brian.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I would suggest actually,
it's more about high consuming items.
Correct. So
Yeah.
I was thinking that maybe items that you generally keep in stock, you want to use MRP to control them, and other high value items that you know are expensive generally, and you do not keep them in stock. You only order them in case of, you have an order from
Yeah.
the customer or something. For those, you can link them to your production order.
But how do you delineate between the two, and how does that work with
So
the
when you
WIP?
delineate,
How does that work with the WIP calculation?
the WIP calculation will work fine. Because your bill of material has both items.
Okay.
So the WIP calculation, this is more about planning and maintaining inventory in your system and your warehouse. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing to do with WIP. Your WIP will work fine. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you delineate between the two?
So obviously you guys know this bill of material better than anyone. So you all know which are the critical items and the high value items in that bill of material.
I don't want it based on institutional knowledge, though. It's got to be system driven.
Well, the system doesn't drive that based on value or anything. So it's MRP works purely based on the way you set up the item, not on its value. So it's purely this is by demand for the item. So this is how I expect you to solve it.
Yeah.
And you can decide whether you want to listen to what MRP is saying or you can choose to ignore it. It's completely up to you. So remember we saw MRP exceptions yesterday?
Yeah. Yes.
So those exceptions also tell me when to hurry up or when to defer a purchase order. So when to expedite or when to. So if my bill of material and my operations are set up correctly and I run MRP on a daily basis, whenever I look at the exception report, it will tell you, oh, since you have changed something in your operations yesterday, right? I suggest to defer this purchase order because it's not required anymore at this time. So you can go and defer that purchase order. Or if you bought something forward, MRP will tell you, oh, we need to expedite because now suddenly I need it earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can talk about this more after we finish our training. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
and maybe try to come to a solution which might be acceptable. But yes,
Okay.
okay, because obviously we don't want to create purchase orders for items we already have in stock. And if I go through the production order, the system doesn't check inventory at that point of time. It just says this production order needs this item, so please order it. Whereas MRP looks at my quantity on hand, okay, and then says, okay, this is what I have on hand, and I still need this, so that's the difference. Please order that. So it's just with MRP, it's all on you. You need to look at MRP every day and then take the appropriate actions. Nothing is automated from that perspective. That's all.
When so
So the
it will so when a move transaction happens, it will consume the stock material. It will reduce the stock quantity on
not
hand.
not the move transaction. It will be a materials transaction, which we will do today. So
Gotcha.
you will see.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yep. That's fine.
Okay. All right.
What
Okay.
I'm
So
thinking is
yeah.
Could you set the supplier to like an internal? No, no, don't,
No.
don't worry. Keep going.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
bastardise the
So
solution.
yesterday, what we did was we obviously went through MRP and we went through the setup of bill of material. So we have both of them in place. Today, we are going to go through production orders and the entire cycle of production orders and from start to finish. And once we finish that, we'll take the last half an hour of the training to complete, to go through the entire cycle, creating a project, linking it to a production order,
That'd be great.
and doing all the production order stuff and closing it. Okay? All right. So for production orders, Nathan, can you go to the module called production orders, please? Now, production orders need to be created, maintained over its lifetime because it has different statuses, okay, and then closed. So this is something that y'all will have to decide internally who's going to maintain this in the system. Okay. Obviously, your day-to-day job might be operations and y'all are going down on the shop floor. Y'all might be working on the tiny home or y'all are working on the procurement side, but now this complete brand new module for production will also have to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start with any other module. What's the first thing that we do before we can start using the module is we set up the preferences. Yep. So as you can see, there are different kinds of transactions involved in a production. We have move transactions, we have labor, we have material, we have WIP adjustments, cost numbering. Okay, we can even do disassembly. Obviously, in our case, we might not be using disassembly, but the system allows you for that. And of course, we have vendor shipment as well. So for outside processes. So we maintain different numbering sequences for all of those. Then the system also allows us to schedule a production order. What scheduling does is it looks at finite planning. MRP generally works with infinite planning. Okay, so it doesn't look at your capacity, your work center capacity, but there is something called rough cut planning, which looks at your work center capacity and plans accordingly. Then, if we were using fixed manufacturing calendars, what is the calendar ID I want to use? Generally, my fixed manufacturing units, what are the units? Are they hours? Are they days? In case of us, our manufacturing lead time is huge. So generally, it's days. What is the block size for each unit? Okay. Then whether we want to use labor when we implement labor, what labor rate do we want to use? Is there a standard rate or is it based on employee? So we can choose that as well. what is my default production order type? So the system allows me to create different order types, which we will cover next. And what is my default order whenever I create a new production order, which is my default one. Same thing for disassembly as well. Then we have capable to promise order type as well, which we are not going to be implementing for this project at all for Alphaline. So we don't have to worry about those. Then look at the settings on the right-hand side, which says manufacturing operation settings. Okay, so whenever we create a new material transaction, the system will default to the quantity of the materials, yes or no. If you untick that, it will go to 0, and then you can manually put in the quantity you want to issue. So this is just a default. Same thing for move, for labor, and for other stuff as well. So whatever has been ticked is default. You can untick or tick extra ones if you think they are relevant to you. Okay. So any questions on this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
All right. So this is my base setup. It's done. Let's go back to the production order menu. Okay. Then we have production order types. Now, again, in case of Alphaline, we generally have just one kind of item that we make, which is a home. But if we had different kinds of items, we could have different kinds of production order types as well, and how we treat them. So in our case, it's PJ. Basically, PJ stands short for project. So if you don't mind, Nathan, can you click on the project regular production order, please? Yeah, double click on it, or yeah. So this tells the system what kind of production order it is. So you give it an order type, you give it a description, what is the function of the production order. So if you click on that drop down, Nathan, I can have 3 different functions: regular, planning, or disassembly. So in this case, it's a regular production order. Okay. And every type can have its own numbering sequence. So some companies where they have multiple types, they want to have a different numbering sequence for production orders. This way, it's very easy for them to identify just by looking at the number. Yes, this is for that product or the other product, for example.
We do that for homes and decks. Distinguish the difference.
Yeah. Potentially.
Sorry, homes and something else you said?
We have about 9 different product lines that we manufacture.
Okay.
Even doing that would be
But-
good too.
But in the concept for you is if you're making projects for all of them, the way you treat them is all the same, right? Through projects.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
we do create a project for each one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
So
we might have a tiny home and a deck.
Okay.
But
But
We can
does it help having a different production order number for both of them?
It
could.
it'd
Uh.
potentially make it quick and easy to see in the to see which production order is a deck and which ones, so we can see
Okay.
where they sit in order.
Okay.
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Potentially.
If that's the way you want to go, that's fine. You can do that. Not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what are my account settings now? I noticed that there's nobody from finance sitting here. I actually wanted to take you guys through the finance entries as well. So I'm not sure if that would be relevant today without any finance person being involved. Okay.
So happens Colleen doesn't work Fridays.
Let
I think the finance person's name is Bruce, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
Yeah.
When do you want to go through that?
Whenever you want, whenever you're available. The thing is, we should get the finance people involved because all of the transactions that we are doing create a financial transaction in the background.
Yeah.
So the finance person has to be aware that this is what the system is doing. Otherwise, they would be completely caught off guard
Right.
when we go live.
Okay.
You know, and they'll say, okay, how did we implement the system without my input? Because now the system is using these accounts, and I was not aware of it at
Yeah.
all.
All right. So do you want me to get them now?
I don't know if we'll have the time because we are not going to discuss finance entries right now. We'll be discussing it as and when we go through the steps. So up to you.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you need to ask Bruce if he's available for the next 2 hours. Then yes.
Or if not, we'll be discussing it in the last half an hour when we set up the whole project, right?
Yeah, we can do that. We can get him in at that
Maybe we
point
just
in
get him
time
at
as
the
well.
end.
All right. I'll give
Yeah.
him a heads up. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
A splashback, so goodness. They say a new splashback is wrong color. Can you check what was ordered the first time? I mean, there's only one order. What splashbacks are you talking about? 572 still. There's only one splashback ordered for that. We didn't order a new one.
It's the wrong color in that.
No, it's all about the
I'm gonna build a trend on my body life. So. For sure it was whisper gray, something like that, wasn't it?
Metallic gray or something.
from the viewing deck.
Where did I find that yesterday?
And this,
Bruce is fine to come in.
Yeah.
In an hour or so.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think I know why that link didn't work for you for downloading the recording yesterday. Okay.
Yeah.
I just realized I forwarded that link to you and then I moved the file to your customer folder. But when I sent
Thank
you the
you.
link, it was in a different folder. So yes, now I realize why it didn't work for you.
Oh,
So I'll send that
You
link.
know I'm stupid.
That was my bad. So I'll send the link to all three of you again from the new
Okay.
folder. Yeah.
Thank you.
It didn't strike me. I sent you the link and I was like, it's better for me to put it under their folder so it doesn't, expire or delete itself.
It's your
And
first
yeah.
day in IT, isn't it?
That's the last.
Good one. All right. That's cool.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So we have our ordering number sequence, and after that, we have our work in progress account. Okay. So if you notice something, you want to note this down, Nathan, is the work in progress variance account. I didn't see anything in your chart of accounts for work in progress variance account. So I just put in an expense, other operational expense,
Yeah.
which is not correct. So this is where we need Bruce's help. Okay.
Do you want to set that up now? Do you want me to grab him
No.
so we can make that decision?
We can make a note of it, and when he comes, and then we can cover all the finance stuff, and then go from there.
Yeah.
Work in progress is what we move it from inventory to when we are building the job.
Yeah.
Yes. And when you finish your tiny home, all that work in progress cost goes into the tiny home.
Yeah.
So basically, you're just transferring the cost of all your raw materials into the finished product in the system. That's all you're doing.
Going from inventory to finished goods, essentially.
Yes. I also noticed in your system that from a GL perspective, your raw materials and your finished good have the same GL account. Generally, that is not recommended. But yeah.
Generally not recommended. We hear that a lot.
Because when I'm looking at my balance sheet or any financial report, I want to be able to see my finished goods separately from my raw materials. That's what. Yeah. Anyway,
Well,
so
everything was set up as a finished good before we had
I know.
manufacturing.
Yeah, so that's why I need Bruce. So we'll need to, talk to him, and then he can set up all these small things, and we can set this up, and then you guys can test it properly. Because he'll need to be involved in the testing to see all the financial entries which are being created, and then give his approval saying, okay, looks good, we can go live. All right. So
Yeah.
what is the costing method? We are going to be using actual costing. Okay. The actual material which we input into our production order, we will be using that costing. Okay. Then for scheduling, we will check for material availability. If it is not available, we will not, the system will stop us from scheduling. Then scrap. Uh, so if we do have any scrap, in our case, we may not, but if we do have scrap, okay, what is my source of scrap? So if you click on the drop down over there, it can either be none, item, warehouse, or order type. Basically, what we're telling the system is, what is my scrap warehouse and scrap location? Where do you want the system to pick up these two pieces of information from? So right now I've said it's from the order type. So in this case, it will pick it up from uh, my scrap warehouse information, which is below this field, and my scrap location. Correct. In case I have any. Okay. Whether I want to default copy BOM notes, yes. Now, should I allow using under issue of material and over issue of material? I have said warn. If you do not want to allow over issue or under issue of material, you can stop that.
What's the impact of either?
So, for example, if you're making a tiny home and you need four windows, for example, but in the system, I only use 2 windows. Is that allowed? Or should it be 4? Over consumption, I can understand because I may break during handling, oh, the window slipped, it broke. So I may want an over issue. But under issue, if I need 4 windows, can I make do with 2 windows? Stuff like that.
Well,
Yeah.
that can happen with ply flooring. It can happen with an abundance of other materials. So
Correct. That's why I've kept it
yes.
at one.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
Not, so
Yep.
that's all. Okay.
Yeah, will happen with few materials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this is basically my production order type. I have different production order types and I can do that. So for some production order types, I will say, okay, I don't want to allow under issue of material. So for those, I can, create another type and say, don't allow. I mean, yeah. In your case, I think one production order type should suffice. But if you want to have different ordering numbers for decks and for homes, then you can create 2 different order types. Not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my order type. The third thing I can set up is labor codes, but we are not capturing labor in this phase, so I will not cover that for now. So we can save some time.
All right.
Okay, so can you click on the production order menu, please? Okay. Now, my base setup is done. Now, what is the first step in the process? The first step is to actually create the production order itself. So telling the system, I intend to make the item. In this case, a tiny home. Okay. So so under profiles, you can go to production order maintenance. You can click on that, which will take you to a listing of all the production orders in the system and their statuses. Okay. If you ever want to see one, you can obviously just click on one and go in. If you want to create one, you can just click on the plus.
Where does the status? What changes the status?
Okay, so we will cover that as well.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. Okay. And if you see there are something on the side of your screen. They're called side panels. I don't know if you ever worked with them before. Okay.
No.
So that's a standard in the system. So if I wanted to see the details of this order, right, I can click on the side panel on the top, which says production order detail.
Fine.
Oh,
So it gives you
stop
it
it.
gives you more information on the production order.
Oh,
All
you're still
the
on the same tab.
yes,
Wow.
and you
That's
can
good.
increase or decrease the amount of space this side panel takes. Okay.
But you can reduce
Yeah.
it to
Yeah.
4 and still.
Yeah. Okay. So there are different
Program
pieces of
that.
information. If you see that something
Yeah.
called critical materials under the second side panel, that will tell you what materials you don't have in stock.
Oh my.
Okay. For making this production order going through. Then you also have MRP results by item. And this is where I was saying, uh, right. So this is where you can actually use the current setup of the system to, do all that with MRP. You can also do production order analysis. There's production order supply documents. That means any purchase order linked to this uh, production order, you can see those.
You just
Right
saw
now,
the
there's
glass
nothing.
and got a sticky, didn't you?
Yeah. Right now, there's nothing linked to it, but yes.
That analysis tab would be awesome too.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So that this screen will populate all the purchase orders for that job.
If you're creating purchase orders from the production order and linking them, then yes.
Which we will be doing.
Yeah.
So you can also create purchase orders from MRP and then manually link that PO to the production order.
We ain't doing that.
So there are two ways to do it. Now, if we create, like I said, if we create purchase orders from production orders, the system will not check for inventory on hand. So I don't want you ending up with a lot of inventory in stock. So you need to be careful
We don't either.
on that part. Yeah.
Is
And
there a way?
that's why told you before that what you can do is you can do a mix and match. You can only create purchase orders for high value items from the production order to keep a track saying, I only order these items when I have a production order in the system. And the other small value items like screws, nuts, and stuff like that, let MRP manage those.
Why not? Surely we can do that.
That's a discussion we can have later as well, Nathan. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I think the critical thing is how to batch allocate purchase orders from MRP to a project. That would be a
Huge bonus.
because you could do a job. I just don't want to do each purchase order at a time because that's a lot of overhead.
mhm.
But if you can do it in a batch somehow, then that would be the solution.
We kind of saw that yesterday. We just got to enter in dates and take them off hold and it's done.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely faster than creating them individually.
So yeah, we can test that process out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so let's create a new production order, shall we? Let's close the side panel.
Sorry, I'm just writing.
Yeah, no worries.
Close the side panel.
Okay.
You want to create a production order?
Yep. All right. So as you can see, first thing it's asking me is for the order type, and here I can choose. So if it was a deck or a tiny home, I can choose not by the pencil, by the lookup, that magnifying glass, and I can choose what type of order I want to create. So here it can be deck or tiny home if you decide to separate those two.
Can you run
Okay.
reports based on order type?
There are a couple of reports like that. Yes.
And that is beneficial.
Then don't have to worry about the production order number that is auto-generated. Whenever you see that thing say new, that's auto-generation. So you don't have to worry about that. Then the inventory ID. So what is my finished good that I want to make? So if you are making a deck, I'm guessing you'll have a finished good for deck, which
Yeah.
I have not noticed in the system. I'm guessing you'll have to create one.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
create one. Yeah.
Yeah. Right now there is one called house. So yeah. So when you created this new item, house, right? The item class that you've chosen, stock default, you need to confer that with Bruce. Is it the correct item class as well? Because of the accounting that happens. Okay.
How do item classes affect accounts?
Not item. So item classes are linked to something called posting class, and that decides what accounts to be picked up for that item. And you can override it in the item master as well. So we can talk to it when Bruce is here. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Right.
let's double click on that item. Okay. As soon as I do that, the system will obviously we can also populate the warehouse and the location. Now the location
So-
has come from the item setup.
Sorry, Bhavesh, just on the item class, would
Yeah.
it be wise to create an item class for projects? And every time I create a new inventory item, it gets
Mhm.
for a project, it gets allocated to that
Item class.
item class.
If the accounting is different, then yes, it's completely up to you.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
all the other characteristics are the same as your existing item class, then I don't see a benefit in it. That's all.
Well, just categorizing and exclusions from yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Cool. Let's go.
Then if you look, so that's my header. What is my order date, which populates to today's date? You can change it. What is the status? The default status when I create one is I am planning to make this item. So my status is planned. Okay. Then if I want, I can give in a description, but I already have the item description. So this is purely informational, nothing else. So, okay. You can leave it blank or you can put in something. It's up to you. Then under
This will
that,
be the description of the production order though. Yeah.
yes, correct. And it is, like I said, it's optional. You may choose to give it or you may choose to
Yeah.
ignore it.
Yeah, there we go. I think we definitely should put that in there.
Yeah.
Easy way to label our homes.
I think that should be linked to the project.
So
So
there is another way to link it to a project, so you don't have to put in the description, but it's up to you.
I just think I know this is more from at a policy level. I think
Okay.
just so there's some sort of correlation.
Sure, no worries.
It's not an actual system link. It's just a visual link.
Which I
Okay.
definitely like having.
Okay. Then the quantity to produce, obviously, in this production order. Now, I leave this up to you. Like you said, sometimes you get an order for 5 homes. Now, you can choose to make 5 in one order, or you can choose to have 5 production orders with 1 each.
No,
If the bill of material happens to be different for all 5, then yes, 1 each, 5 orders. But if the if the bill of material is the same, then yeah, might as well just make 1 order and go from there. But it's up to you.
the reason we'll keep them as singular production orders, like a 1-for-1, is because of the
Yeah.
timing of
Okay.
the delivery of materials. While it might be 5 in one order, the
Yeah.
timing of the delivery of each job is
The
different.
start
Yes,
date is
Start date,
different.
exactly.
Okay, understood. No worries. So obviously we have the quantity produced. What is the unit of measure? Okay, so uh, in our case, it's always going to be each. Then what is the scheduling method? Okay, if I want to do finite scheduling, uh, I have options. I can have start on, I can have based on end on, and I also have user dates. If you click on the drop down method where it says scheduling method, so these are the options. When do I base my production on my start date, on my finish date, or user dates. I choose my own start and finish date. So for us, I think the start on makes more sense. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So we do that. Then what the system does is, what is my constraint? If it's a start on, okay, what is my proposed planned start date for this item? As you can see, it's defaulted to today, but obviously I'm not going to create a production order at the last minute. How much time generally you want to you give yourself for planning? Is it 2 months in advance?
We currently have a situation where I was asked to order material before we had drawings. And I'm like, I can't actually do that because I need
Okay.
like I can't tell the supplier to get the material here before I tell them what material to get here. So
Yeah.
things are last minute.
At the moment.
Yeah. Okay. So the constraint date is important. So if I plan to start working on this house maybe in October, so my start date would be 1st October, for example. Or if it's September, it will be 1st September.
That's more realistic.
Okay.
2 weeks from now.
So you know how
So-
much time the suppliers generally take to get the material to you. So what is the longest lead time
6 weeks.
any supplier might take? So
Well-
to start off,
4 to 6
I mean,
weeks.
like, your first operation, for the first operations to start, what is the maximum lead time a supplier needs so that you can begin your first operation?
It's about 5-7 days.
So that's 1 week.
Yeah.
So you can start, if I purchase order today, I can get it in the next 7 days. So that means I can start working on this production order in 10 days or 7 days. So my start date would be minimum 15th August, right? Or 10th August, whatever.
7 days from now, yeah.
Yeah.
7 working days.
Yes. So that's what I would do. That's how I have to plan. Okay. Obviously, you guys know better what date to put there, but yeah, that's what it will be the start date of your first operation. In your case, since the manufacturing lead time is long, you have to first focus is when can I start production for my
So-
first few operations.
So this constraint day is the date that we want to start the production.
Yes, that's why it says start on. Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Process is longer. Windows is longer
Yeah.
than steel by a mile. Some of them. So we can start the project in the bay, but then when it gets to the second cost.
Yeah, so-
How do you work that out?
This is a complexity, Bhavesh. We've got material that's required in our second
Zone.
zone that has
Mm-hmm.
a 6-week lead time that
Okay.
is longer than
The steel.
the lead time for the first
So-
work center.
So that means you cannot start work for at least the next 4 weeks then.
Yeah.
4
okay.
to 5 weeks. So
Okay.
your
So
start date would.
the lead time is not going to work. It's not. Okay. When we run the MRP, we're just going to have a lot of late items
Yeah.
that we'll know about. We'll need to,
No.
just manage.
Yeah.
That's fine.
They're like,
That's okay.
Yeah.
I understand how the system works.
Yeah, I'm just going to tell you how the system works. You can manage the dates based on like you said. If the second operation takes 6 weeks, we are not
That's
going to
very
finish the first
okay.
operation and just wait there.
2 to 3 weeks.
So you may want to start the production later on. That's all.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Unless obviously if you have material on hand already for the second operation, then you can start. Whatever.
Yep.
All right. Then the system calculates based on your constant start date, the system will calculate the start date and the end date of the production order. Now, the start date and the end date is calculated on two things, or one of two things. One is obviously your bill of material, the operations that you have, and the time you need in each operation. Or if you click on that use fixed manufacturing lead times for order dates, then there is a field in the item master for this finished good says what is your manufacturing lead time. If you say it takes 1 month to make it, it'll just take that and say 30 days. That's it. Done. So in our case, we've decided to use our operations. So we will not tick the next two options, which is use fixed manufacturing lead times and use order start date for MRP. So use order start date for MRP tells the system is when MRP is running, I will use this start date to make sure all my material for the entire production order is available on the first day of production.
Okay, but that's why we don't want to tick it.
Yeah. Otherwise, the system will, if it's unticked, the system will say, okay, let's look at all the operations. When is the start date of the operation? So I will start planning my material based on the start date of the operation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what. Okay. If this production order I want to exclude from MRP, I can also do that by ticking on that third flag.
Exclude from MRP. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, dispatch priority. If I have multiple production orders, which might start on the same day, I can tell the system which has a priority one over the other
Yeah, they have that.
by that dispatch priority. I think lower the number, the higher the priority. If both of them have the same priority, then whichever was created first will go first.
So priority 1 being the top.
Yes.
But that's on the
Okay.
finished good.
That's on the start.
What?
So if you have two production orders starting on the same day, you can still give priority to one over the other.
Okay,
never
we
have that.
we won't have that.
No,
Yeah.
nothing.
Should we just keep that to 0?
No, just leave it the way it is. That's the default. That 5 is the default number. Just leave it the way it is.
No worries.
So
Okay.
all of them will have the same priority then. Don't have
Yeah.
to worry.
Yeah.
Okay. Then my costing method, actuals. I always want actuals. Okay. And what is my scrap warehouse, etc. I can override it by ticking that flag over there in case if
Yep.
it's different. Okay. Now I have created the item without lot serial numbers. Okay. So Nathan, another suggestion, again, it's up to you. I would create this inventory item with lot serial code, and what I would do is I would make my costing method as specific instead of average. The reason I would do that is if I make it specific and I put in lot numbers, okay, or serial numbers, every time I make the house, I can give it the serial number as the project would. So even if I have 5 houses in stock, let's say I've created 5 houses in stock, I know that each house belongs to a specific project and the costing for each house in the system will be separate because it's
Perfect.
specific.
Yep.
Okay, so this is your item setup that you need to change. You may want to note that down and run it by Bruce as well.
So where's that? Is
Whenever
it
I'm
here?
no. That is your item setup
Oh,
in your
Mm.
in your stock item setup.
And change them all to specific.
And lot control or serial control. So the serial control is not physical. You will not be physically putting a serial number on the house, but in the system, you can give it a serial number to identify it. And you can give that serial number as the project would. So if I'm running an inventory report, for example, and I see 5 houses, it's very easy for me to identify which house belongs to which project and what is the cost of each house. What is the valuation of each house? This has nothing to do with manufacturing, but I'm suggesting so that you do it. It'll help you in the future though.
Does the item codes have a priority when you set it up?
Item
Can you
code
s-
is manual, so you can give it whatever code you want.
Yeah,
I'm changing.
yeah.
Because just at previous jobs where I used to run a report where I'd go, all right, I want to raise POs for all priority ones. Then the following week I'd do priority twos, you know,
Mm.
whatever.
Yeah.
So we can
Okay.
set up the item codes. That's the item code though, that we can do that in that.
Yeah. If you have a logic in your item coding, then yes, you can do that.
See, because that's what that priority is. You go 1 to 5
Yeah.
normally.
Instead of
So
being-
when you start a production order, you tell the system, I want every priority one ordered right now, generate the POs. Is that correct? Is that sort of the thinking?
It's working more on dates.
Or is it working on dates?
Yeah. That the materials required based on that start
Yeah.
date.
Oh, yeah.
So you can do one or the other.
Yeah. So that there's a lead time against
Yeah.
each material.
That'll give
So
you the
it'll-
priority. with the
yeah.
lead time.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how we're managing that.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. So let's go to the next tab, which says references. Okay. Now, if this production order was created via a sales order or anything else, you would see the information here. Okay. Financial settings. For which branch are you creating the production order? What's your WIP account and your WIP variance account? All of that defaults from your order type, but you can override it in case if you want. Then source. This is important now. Okay, it's coming, or what is your bill of material basically? Okay, if you can click on that drop down where it says source. Yeah, so I have multiple ways of getting my bill of material to attach to this production order. In case of Alphaline, we have only one source, which is my bill of material, but I can have other sources as well. Okay, and if I have start date and end date for my bill of material, I can use the source date as well, which is my next field below this. Then the BOM ID, very important. Okay. I may have multiple BOMs. I may have because I'm creating BOMs by project ID as well. Okay. I can choose the BOM ID here. This will default from my item setup, but I can change it. Okay. I can just look at the lookup and I can choose a bill of material and I can go from there.
That's just your base to start from.
So
Yes.
this is reading the bomb that
Yes.
sits inside that inventory ID.
Yes.
It's
So
pulled that
if you
through by default.
Yeah.
yeah, so if you click on the pencil next to the inventory ID, please.
Oh, that one?
No, not the bill of material. Yeah, that one. And you go to the manufacturing tab. That's where it's picking up your default BOM ID from.
Okay.
Okay. And the revision is your latest revision, basically, which is active.
Revision B at the moment.
Yes, which is active.
Okay.
If A was active and you want to use A, you can go ahead and use A. Not a problem. All right.
Don't worry about revisions.
Okay.
Close. Then I need to link it to a project. And that's where I would go down. I would go find the project and link it to a project.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not link it to a project right now. Okay, let's just focus on manufacturing first. And then we can start linking to a project.
Oh, this is okay, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting every
Okay.
step for this entire process.
It's so fucking good.
Okay.
What
Then, sorry.
no, go on. Proceed. Sorry.
So the next tab is events. So every time I do something with my production order, if I release it, I issue materials to it, whatever, all those transactions get captured under events.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Bhavesh.
Yeah.
Is this update project relevant?
Yes, only if I'm attaching it to a project.
Do you need to tick it?
No, right now we're not attaching it to, not this one at least.
No, but if we were,
Yes, then yes.
because that would be our standard procedure, is
Yes.
to put the project here, and we would need
Yes,
to
so-
tick that.
Why?
Yes. So you would attach it to a project, you would put in the project task, and then you would you would tick update project. Yes.
It's like a back flow.
Okay.
So,
kind of
so
signal.
anyone looking,
What
to the
if you don't
project.
update project? What happens
if I don't update the project, okay, so if anyone's viewing the project, they won't come to know the WIP. So because you have
Yeah.
long lead times, right? And if anyone in the project wants to see, okay, where is my WIP reached, they won't be able to see that because you've unticked this.
Okay,
And
so
this is-
always keep this tick then, essentially,
Yes.
when we're creating a new
Yeah.
production order.
Yeah.
Got ya.
You can also create a production order from the project directly. Okay. The only difference there is then it'll generally take the default BOM ID. So if you're creating a new BOM ID all the time, it's better to create the production order manually and link it to the project. And if y'all are managing production orders, I'm not sure if you'll get access to go to the project module anyway. So it's better
That's
to
correct.
it's better to go from this route.
Okay. We would be creating a new bill of materials every project, wouldn't we? Or we would be
Yeah.
using.
Yeah.
Can we use the old bill of materials?
Yeah, you can copy.
Copy it,
Change.
but then that's essentially creating a new one though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you give it the same ID number.
I mean,
As
it
the
makes
project. Same
it
idea.
just
As a
gives you
project.
more visibility. That's all. You can use an existing one. System will not stop you. From a system perspective, that's all good. This is more to do with your process than the system.
Okay.
All right. Let's look at the next tab, events. Okay. This anytime I do anything with the production order, like issue a material, do a move transaction, whatever, system records all of that. So you can actually come here and audit. Okay, what's happening with this production order? Okay. Then the next tab is attributes. I can have attributes which I can attach to the production order. If something, if I want to capture some additional information or whatever, I can do that as well. The next tab, totals, which is important. All right. This tells you once I save this production order, this will calculate the total material, total labor, whatever other costs are involved in the bill of material, and say this production order will cost you this much. Okay, so let's click on save. Can you click on save, please, Nathan?
Down.
Maybe.
There we go. Okay. So what the system has done is once you've saved your production order, it's calculated all the costs in your bill of material and said this is what your production order will cost. This is what you have planned. This is the actual, and that's the variance. Right now, if you see, there's nothing in actual because we have not even started our production order. We're just purely planning. So as per the bill of material that I have, this will cost me around $25,500.
Hello.
Okay.
We have an account with Bunnings
Yes.
up the road. What's
Yes.
Pete got to do to use it? You got to get some trim for that splash bay.
It should have been trimmed with the order.
No, it's not enough here, mate.
Is
Not
it-
enough.
Yeah.
So the boys
And-
are just going out there shortly. So
Is it-
maybe more?
Just use that. Is there a card?
There's
Is there
a pin number to it. 7927. Just right there.
I'm about my last page. Thank you, James.
Just tell them for a PO number there and ask, just tell Peter to use his name. And I'll sort everything out.
PO number, use his name.
Yeah. And then I'll do up the PO when he gets back. I'm gonna get a receipt, which I will give him.
Thank you. Thanks, Tim.
We can't even do an hour, can we?
Thanks, Bevich.
Sorry about that.
Ah, no worries. All good. So as you can see, it's only giving us material costs because that's what this phase is. We are only capturing material costs. Okay, so for this production order, that's my material cost. Okay. Then let's go to the last tab, line details. Yeah. Basically, it's just giving me the location for the inventory where it is going to be saved. Okay, what's the quantity, what has been completed, if there's any scrap, and what's the remaining. Okay, we can also have items with expiry dates. Obviously, we are not working with those for Alphaline, so we don't have to worry about that field at all. Okay. Any questions on creating a production order?
Not yet.
No.
Okay, awesome. So, like I said, it has different statuses. When you create one and you save it, it's on the plan status. Now, when it's on plan status, right, I can make changes to it. I can delete it. Not a problem. So if I want to delete it, I'll just go to the delete button and I'll delete it. Okay. Now, if I run MRP for this, okay, MRP will start planning for this item. Now, I said the start date is today. So whatever POs that I create, the MRP will say expedite because we are late already.
As will only ever show expedite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that date is important. Now, I have created my purchase orders. I've done the MRP. I've created my purchase order. I've sent it to the supplier, and the supplier has sent me the material. When I am ready to start my production, okay, I have to change my order status from planned to released. Okay. Now, question for you, Nathan, is I can print the details of this production order, like all the material which is required. Is that something you want to do and hand over to someone in the shop floor or something like that?
Yeah, I wanna be able to produce a list of materials by work center.
Okay, so if you click on those three dots and reports, production ticket.
I'll stop it.
So this gives you a breakdown by each operation, what material is required.
This is by
And you-
operation, so it's kind of grouped by purchase order.
Can you
So-
expand?
Yeah, I see.
And
Done.
you can export this to Excel and you can, share it with whoever you want.
So all the items in that first bit
So-
will be from the same supplier?
If I export that to
Excel.
Excel,
Yeah.
Good old faithful Excel.
Yeah, never fails. Yeah, look at this.
Yeah.
that's not ideal.
Why?
Well, it's going to be a pain in the neck to
There's no tables.
accumulate it by work zone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it's all the 2000s first and the 21s. And so on.
But this is assuming the full BOQ is done.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's a good start.
And if your bill of material, what do you say, the move time and the finish time, everything is correct, wherever you see the start time, start date, and end date, it will show them the correct start date. Right now, your bill of material, everything is 0, so the start date is today for everybody, for everything. So you can see the run time, it's giving you the setup time as well. So yeah, all the start dates will change based on your bill of material setup. So you may want to look at your bill of material setup and yeah, put in the times correctly.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. I can also plan, I can do finite planning if I wanted to in the system for this. Okay, to do finite planning, okay, I'll go to production orders. And under processes, I'll see something called rough cut planning. So what rough cut planning does is basically it looks at the capacity of my work center and plans accordingly. So in this case, I have 2 of them. Okay. And the start date for one is 1st September. The second one is today. Both are unscheduled. So if I click on process all, system will take both and start planning based on what is the errors I'm getting. Okay, so what it's telling you is there is no material on order for either of them for this item. Basically, so rough cut planning, finite planning only works if the system can find a source of supply for all the materials in the system. If it cannot, it will give you that error message saying, so in this case, steel is not I don't see any purchase order in the system for steel, which can satisfy demand for either of them. So I can't plan. But if I run MRP, this is rough cut planning is very different to MRP. MRP is purely materials requirement planning. This one is capacity requirement planning. So if you're actually doing what is my capacity in my work center, that's when I run this. All right.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to use this at this stage or you want to use this after you have labor in place, but
Once
yes.
labor's in place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So for now, what you would do is just go to MRP and say regenerate MRP, for example.
When your labor's introduced, if you have people sick, it will automatically calculate your, I guess.
Process.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the MRP display. So you can sort it by item if you want, or you can search for a specific item. So it tells you what it needs, and there's something called related document. It tells you what is the source of that need. Okay, and the operation number as well. So in this case, these are all required by this production order, and this is my operation that needs it. So I can sort it by any, what do you say? If I only wanted to see what is my, what do you say? Related document for one specific production order, I can do a filter.
So, Bhavesh, can we label the production order number the same as the project?
You
Number?
can then instead of making it automatic, what I'll have to do is give it manual. Then you'll have to make a manual number
Yes,
and maintain
please.
it that way. It's up
Yep.
to you.
Yep. Because in this screen, that will allow us to see the correlation between
Project
line item and project.
no worries. Yeah, sure. So what if you want to make it manual,
Yep.
okay, go to production orders. Go to production order types. Open that PJ. And where it says order numbering sequence, click on the pencil icon and click on manual numbering. Save and close. Yeah. So the next time when you create a production order number, it will be blank. It won't give you that new thing. So it's expecting you to put in the production order number.
Yeah, instead of generating one for us.
Yes. And you can give it whatever you want. Up to 15 characters. I think that's the limit.
Yeah, I've made a note of that too.
Okay. So yes. Let's go back to MRP display. Now, this is what I want you to do, Nathan. I want you to create a bill of material. Obviously, our bill of material is very long. So I want you to create a bill of material with just one item per operation. Okay. And then create a production order for that. And we can plan accordingly based on that. Okay. And of course, Steve and Bryce can help you in case whatever. Yeah. So do we know who's going to be managing all of this? Is it Steve and Bryce, or is it just Bryce or Steve, or is it all three of you?
It's going to be all three of us. Probably we
Okay.
all need to know.
Okay.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. So Steve and Bryce, I don't see you guys with your laptops. Do you guys want to go and fetch them? Actually, I don't know if you'll have access to it for now. You'll have to see what
No.
license you have.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I can see what Nathan's doing.
They don't have
Okay.
access to manufacturing yet.
Okay. No worries. So yeah, so I will keep quiet, let you do the exercise. If you need my help, just let me know.
Making new bill of materials now.
Oh, I need a new inventory ID as well.
Are you planning to create a brand new stock item for everything, for everyone?
Yeah.
Why do you want to do that?
Isn't that how we manage the lot ID?
No. So just open your CRP house at a test house item. Go inside. Yeah. Now, where it says average costing, valuation method, change that to specific cost. And where it says lot serial class, just below that, a couple of fields below that. Yeah. Look up and make it serial when received. Yeah. Serial, track serial when received. Yes. Okay. I think we have stock on hand. It's not letting me change it. Can you see the valuation method? Why is it giving me a red sign? Okay, so I need to delete the production orders before I do anything.
Why
But
don't we just create a new item?
okay, create a new item, not a problem. But make sure it is specific and has that. So then that way you just create one item and then that's it. You don't have to worry about creating new items all the time. You know,
Yeah,
makes it easier.
template done.
So what you could have done, go back to the test house, please. All right. Yes, copy. Exactly.
Now go click plus. There we go. Oh, what? Why did it not give us the option to paste that?
First, you have to put in the inventory ID. That's why.
Oh. Right.
And now change it to specific cost. Yeah. And yeah.
Back when
Yeah.
serial received, okay. So this is where we get the serial numbers to determine the difference.
Do you want these? Oh, won't worry about that. These are made to order.
Yeah. And you can use a default BOM ID.
Well, that's the problem because every
We can use that as a base and then change it from there.
No, this is just a default. Again, the system will not hard code that BOM ID. It's just a default. So you can use the
Yeah.
base. Yeah.
Just we only got one, don't we? So far.
is it not active?
Sorry.
Why
No,
are there
no.
no bombs?
Just a minute.
Yeah.
Go
might
back
be
to
on
general, please. Go back to the general tab. Save the item once you're
Oh, yeah,
done.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now go back to manufacturing and yes.
Doing nothing.
1 second. We need to assign it to a warehouse. 1 second. Go to warehouses, please. Warehouse is there. Click on the TH.
So yeah, the GL account still has an exclamation mark as well.
Go to manufacturing. Click on the default BOM. Close. Go to replenishment. Oh, sorry. Oh, we haven't created a BOM for this item yet. That's why.
Yeah, but it
The
should give me a
bomb-
list of all bombs.
No. So all our bombs belong to an inventory ID called test house bomb. So we
So
need to
can't
first
use that if it
create.
already belongs to something.
No, it belongs to another item. So save the item. Okay. You've saved the item, right? Now go to bombs, please. Open a existing one. No. Open an existing bill of material. Go to the three dots and say copy. Yeah. All right. Now here, give it a new BOM ID and change the inventory ID to your new item, whatever that is.
That's how we copy it.
Yeah. And blank out the warehouse. See if it allows you to empty blank it out. Don't give TH. Say copy. I see an asterisk there. It will force you to enter a warehouse. Let's see.
Probably will.
So
Asterisk.
warehouse is a yeah, okay. So warehouse is an optional field. If it's a global bill of material, you don't have to put in the warehouse code. So you can blank out the warehouse code, Nathan.
Yeah.
In the header, blank out the warehouse and save.
What's
There
the
we go.
point of blanking out the warehouse?
That means this bill of material is not dependent on a warehouse. It's global.
Yeah.
So if you
It
had
can go
multiple
anywhere.
warehouses, it's the same bill of material.
We can use it for
When
both.
it-
Okay.
Yeah. When it's a warehouse, then the system actually is flexible, saying, "Oh, your bill of material changes by warehouse because the machinery that you have at each warehouse might be different." So in your case, in your business, it has no impact. But in other businesses wherein the type of machinery might change my bill of material slightly, that's when I would put in the warehouse code. So if I'm making this item at this warehouse, there is a slight change to the bill of material, and the system will pick up the correct bill of material based on warehouse. Okay?
We won't need to worry about that though.
Yeah. You can take it off hold if you want, Nathan. For now, or actually, don't take it off hold. Make the changes. Remember, I said try to make it a small bill of material if you can,
Yeah.
so that we can do our training, because the concept would be still the same. I don't want you, I mean, if the exercise is to create purchase orders, we'll just end up doing so many right now. So,
You just leave like one item per work zone, right? You end up with like
yeah,
seven
something like that. Yeah.
You got 2 items from zone 1, 2, 3 items from zone 2.
And I would also suggest to put in some finish time or move time, one of those two.
Yeah,
Whichever
I'll
you're
do that.
Just
Yeah.
to make this a bit more accurate. A bit more realistic. Hit shift too many times.
Reflection of my life.
You get shifted cars, don't you?
Let's go there.
So now we can give these items order times,
Right.
or you do finish time instead.
Oh,
You got 10 days for zone 1.
So if it's zone one, then put it on the first operation, not on this. So what you're telling me this finish time is, oh yeah, this is the last operation in zone one. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah,
You're
no,
right.
you should do
Yeah.
that one. 1 day, yep.
So if it's 1 day, then put 100,000.
They're trying to do 1.5 days, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, go across one more. Yeah, there you go. There we go. 1.5 days.
You
No.
gotta find the last item on zone 3.
So if you look at your zone 1 again, it's saying 10 hours and 4 minutes.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
I want 1 day and 4 hours.
Okay, so then put 10 400 400. Yeah. Okay.
That's
Go
now
down.
104 days.
1 second. Go down. There we go.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it is a bit painful, this one.
Let's go to. Oh,
Is that your last item on zone 2?
wait, no, floor coverings.
There we go.
What? 01.
There's 1, 0. Nice. What happens if you want 10 days? Do you have to write 100 400?
I think instead of
Or 0
10.
1 0?
Yeah, 100, then yeah, something like that. I
Yeah,
think.
100.
Yeah.
Classes, eh?
Once you save it, once you save it, it'll automatically adjust.
We're certain on any classes.
All right.
Righto, so that gives you a bit more
What about-
realistic.
What about the materials at each? So go back to your first operation and see the list of materials. I want you to reduce the number of materials as well. Otherwise, yeah, there are so many.
I know.
So in real life, there'll be a lot of stuff that you'll be doing in the system because your bill of material is so long. So I can see you already spending a lot of time on the system planning and adjusting dates and everything because obviously you want to get what you're doing in Excel, Nathan, you'll be doing it in the system now. That's all.
Yeah.
So this
Okay.
is all attached to those floor coverings
I'm
operation.
gonna leave that.
Yeah, wow. So technically in those wall linings, it should have the wall sheets and the joiners and the screws.
Yeah. See, that's 3 different suppliers.
Yeah,
I'm gonna leave that because that's a good example.
yeah, that's a great example. So is the appliance, probably.
No,
Oh, no, that's only one.
I tried to separate them.
Boards, tape. That's also just Polytech, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll get rid of thermal brakes. All of these items are going to one supplier anyway. Like I've almost separated it as one supplier per operation ID.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever you're comfortable.
Yeah, that's easy.
All right.
Let's save it. Make it active.
Keep it on hold.
All right. Let's go back to the stock item setup. Yeah. So you just need to refresh. So yeah.
Where is it now?
Now,
There we
generally,
go.
yeah. There we go. Okay. You can save it. Don't have to worry about revision. Like I said, revision will come in the production order itself.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's create a production order for this. And plan for it. Before you actually create a production order, do you want to reduce the confusion and delete the other two planned production orders? So then when we run MRP, it will only show us for that one. Is that okay?
Can we not have MRP just run for that one project if we have multiple on there?
No.
Yep.
MRP will run for your complete demand.
Everything.
I think we might leave them in just so we can see how this one sits, because we're
Okay.
going to name it according to the project.
Okay, so let's just say plus and then go ahead and create a new production order. Don't have to just say tab. Yeah, next.
Single out jobs if I now come up. I will give you everything. Specific job.
We want to start it, let's say Monday.
Yeah.
Give yourself more time. Give yourself 2 or 3 weeks. So
I'll do the
until
7 day
next
lead
month.
time.
But this is reality.
Do it 7 day lead time with steel. There's no way
Yeah.
we're starting projects on the same day we
Yeah.
get them.
12th makes more sense.
Usually.
Yeah. Yeah, all this is good. We haven't
Um,
created a project yet. So do you want to create a project?
Yes.
Okay, save this. You can save the production order. It's okay. As long as it's in plan status, you can always modify it.
So we've got to create the project first, then link the production order to the project.
The projects will already be created by
Yeah.
the time we.
By the time we
Get
get
'em.
this, okay, we just have to link the production order to said project.
No, it won't let you do that because it's auto generate. Yeah. So you can just use any customer you want. Yeah. And you can use the template I did if you want.
What's CRP mean?
Oh, that CRP is the one I did for the CRP on Tuesday. So that is purely for testing, nothing else.
But what is it an acronym for?
Oh, conference room pilot.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Can I just change these?
Yeah. So go to the tasks first and you can change them. These are nothing but descriptions of the tasks.
Yeah.
I don't know meeting today.
I don't know.
All right. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
Do I need
Save
to do
this.
anything else?
No, we are not going to be working on the projects right now, so it's okay.
Okay.
Just
Save.
activate the project. Activate the project. Okay. And okay, so remember I told you can create a production order from the project itself.
Yes. Do I
Right.
need to activate tasks?
If you
Or-
activated the project, the task should be go to the task tab.
They're in
Yeah,
planning.
just say activate. Just say activate task.
Oh, here. Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
Now on the last tab on the right says production orders. So I can actually create a production order from here as well. But what this will do is it'll use the default bill of material for that item. Let's do that. Okay.
No, let's not. I don't want to. I don't want to go down that route because these guys potentially won't have access to projects.
Okay. So okay. Let's go
yeah.
back to the production order tab. Yeah. Yeah. Let's link it to this project. I think it's the 643. The last one. Just above the X. Okay. Yeah. Project task. You need to give it a project task. Generally, this would be the last task in the project. Okay, so just give it and whatever. 40. Yeah. And update project. Save. Now go back to the project tab, please, on top. Now just refresh this. Save and refresh. Look at that. You can see the production order number there.
Cool.
Okay. Just letting you know. All right,
Yeah.
let's go back to the.
That's
So we can close the projects. We don't not interested in projects now. Okay. Yeah. So now you can see the total planned cost. And you can run MRP and you can see what MRP says. I want you to then create purchase orders and receive the material in stock. You can filter if you want.
It's a 0. I don't know.
There we go.
So the nuns are things we already have in stock.
Mm-hmm.
no.
What are they then?
Sorry, which one are you saying?
Under the source on the third column, they've got 3
Yeah.
purchases and then the rest are nuns. Are the purchases things we don't have in stock and need to order? And nuns are things we already have?
So no, the system is asking you to order. None is just the item setup. That it's not marked for purchase or
Right.
there's no replenishment or some.
I
That's
remember
all.
we went through that yesterday, yeah.
Yeah.
But these are marked for purchase.
So why
No,
none?
go to replenishment. See, there's nothing there. So that's
Oh,
what
yeah,
none
but-
means.
a minute and max.
There's no
So-
there's no replenishment class basically.
Yeah.
That's what it's trying to do.
So that is how we're going to delineate between what we hold in stock and what we don't.
Got you. If there's a number there, or if there's not,
Anything that requires replenishment
we'll put it in.
will have a purchase.
Yeah.
Anything
got
that's
you.
none will be
Will
ordering.
be stock. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can also see that a lot of these items where there's none, there is no preferred supplier ID. That means that's also not been set up for the item. If you actually open
Oh,
the
yeah.
item again and you go to the supplier tab, it'll be blank.
Got you. So when we update every item for a supplier, that
I've-
would give
I've
us
gotta add this
everything.
in, yeah.
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 All right.
So
Alright, so I want you to create purchase orders for these and receive them in stock. Otherwise, we can't
Hey,
proceed with our production.
hang on, Bhavesh, I'm just going to clarify this replenishment
Uh-huh. Yeah.
correlation to the source.
Mm.
Okay.
So if we go onto this that has purchase,
Yeah. This will have a limit.
there is a Oh, how does that work,
That should be
Bhavesh?
a replenished
Go-
limit.
No. Go to manufacturing, please. Manufacturing tab. Go to warehouses. Click on the warehouse tab, that TH. And just look at replenishment here, please. There. replenishment source purchase.
But where's that
So
pulling the
There are-
information from?
so it's coming from that specific warehouse. So when we set up items in the system, right, we have generic inventory information and then warehouse specific information. Because you may
Yeah.
treat the item differently in different warehouses. That's what. So you have two warehouses set up in your system. One is for tiny homes and the other one is for SBS, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even though we don't deal with this item in SBS, we've attached it to the tiny house warehouse, and there we've gone and said replenishment sort is purchase. And that's what
We
you're
don't
seeing.
actually have a limit. We don't have a min and a max and top up limit.
Yeah.
That's different.
No,
though.
but
So
it's look at the related document. It's asking you to purchase it because of your requirement in the production order, not
Okay.
because of your replenishment.
Right.
can you add different types of replenishment sources?
I think you can have multiple ones for the same item.
Different item.
No, for different items.
Yeah, for different items can be different, not a problem.
So how do you change it on this item?
Yeah.
How are we changing the replenishment source?
What do you want to change though? Why do you want to change it?
For some things we have in stock and some things we don't.
If we need
So
to change it,
go to TH again. Go to replenishment. And it says override replenishment settings. Yeah, now you can change it.
Nice.
replenishment method.
Yeah, method,
There we
source.
go.
You can change all of those.
Okay.
This is how
So-
it's determine the difference.
So on the item then. So these will all show purchase, but the difference.
It's just the item setup. You need to change the item setup if you
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
see
yeah.
the source as purchase. That's all. So for that warehouse, in that item setup, the replenishment has not been set up. And that's why
Yeah.
it's showing you none. That's all.
Alright.
All right. So yeah, let's go ahead, create purchase orders, and then I want you to create the purchase receipts, and then we can go because I cannot start my production if I don't have the inventory on hand. So at least for the first operation, create purchase orders, okay, and receive them.
Click everything.
Like a
Oh,
normal,
generate.
yeah, you would receive the material and then you can start production. So let's
Yeah.
do that.
So now we've clicked everything.
And generate purchase orders.
Purchase.
Purchase.
So if you click everything, the system will assume that you want to do everything in one purchase order, and it'll ask you to create that. Yeah, you don't
Why
want
don't
to do
split
that.
them into separate POs determined by the supplier?
Yeah. So what
So
you
this
can
is-
do,
This is where it
Sorry?
should give me a different purchase order by supplier by
Item.
promise on date.
so this is what I can do. Okay. Now I keep this open and I open another tab which says create purchase orders. So keep this open,
Yeah.
and in another tab under purchases, yes, open that in a separate tab.
Do you want me to split screen it?
If you want. Now where it says production number, where it says production number on create on the right hand side, last field on the right,
Production number.
I will choose my production order number.
Which is PR 01234.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's multiple pages. So it's just type in P. So you can go to the last page. Yeah.
Yeah, it will be on the very last page.
Mhm.
There it
There we
is.
go.
So now we
Now-
have to tick all those.
You can, yeah, or you can choose based on what MRP says. See, now the difference here is, okay, since we have marked all of these items as saying default mark for purchase. So whenever I create a production order, all these items have been marked for purchase. So what the system is doing is, regardless of what MRP is telling you, I can create a purchase order for that production order from create purchase orders. It's not checking inventory. Whereas MRP is checking inventory on hand and then telling you how much to order.
This is what you didn't
That's all.
want to happen, so we wouldn't have
Yeah.
too much stock in hand. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're going from MRP, what you will have to do is you will have to break it down by individual item and click on purchase. Okay.
That sucks.
If that helps, but you will have more control on the inventory that you're ordering. If I do it using create purchase orders, okay, if you scroll to the right, it will just tell you this is what my production order needs, so I'm going to ask you to order that much. It is completely dependent on my production order quantity.
Yeah.
Can this demand warehouse description?
This demand warehouse and demand warehouse description does not apply to you because for you, the purchase is from an external supplier, not from a different warehouse. If it
Well,
was
that's
coming
what
from
I'm. That's what I'm thinking. Can I put a flag in there that says
We have stock.
like
Stock.
something to indicate that it's not a stocked item? That it's a buy-in.
But if you've created as a stocked item, the system will treat it like a stocked item. You can't tell the system, I've created as a stock item and I don't want to treat it like one. It won't work like that.
Well, yeah. I think we can manipulate it to do it because I need them all to be classified as stocked items, so the lead time on that particular item is tracked and usable in the MRP. But I need to exclude them, or I need to exclude the items that we hold in stock from this create purchase orders.
So
But then how will you, if you do not receive them and not have them in inventory in the system, how will you issue them to the production order? How will you get the cost in the production order?
Well, don't we then use the material?
For that, I will need inventory on hand.
Yeah.
For that, I need inventory on hand. If I don't have the inventory on hand, I can't issue it to the production order.
Yeah, won't let us issue 0 to, it won't issue
Everything
15
is based
0.
off the item, everything.
Yeah.
Your min and maxes.
Yeah.
Stock,
So
non-stock.
if we have 0 in stock, it won't issue 15 to a job.
Because you
Maybe
don't
it's-
have 15 in the system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
How we did it at other companies is you have stocked items and non-stocked items.
Which is
And
what
when
we
you
have.
run your report, you go, I want stocked items only. Your non-stocked items is all your shits and bits and crap. But
So-
this is where everything, your min and max is everything. So when you run the MRP, it only brings up, it looks at that item and it
Yeah.
goes, this is a stocked item. There's 0 in stock, order it.
But it won't
Yeah.
let us know about our non-stocked items, will it?
No, it will not plan for non-stocked item. It is
That's why
purely
you
for
want
your
to
stocked
stocked
item.
items.
Yeah.
MRP
And,
works
and
for everything.
some companies just do everything stocked items.
This is what we want to do, but we can't do that if we don't actually stock it. It won't allocate it to a job.
Yeah. Well, you gotta tell the system.
Yeah.
Everything is worked from the item code or the item.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at different fields and way to use. I think this is how I'm going to do it, this source thing.
Yeah.
Because if you, by, in a workflow sense, if you're able to run the MRP do all the stocked items,
Mhm.
run the MRP for that and issue those or raise the purchase orders for those, then go to the create purchase orders and run all the stuff for the
That you flag.
that is left on that project, because there shouldn't be any stocked items left because you've run the MRP first.
Yeah.
This is where you're
And
thinking,
then,
like,
yeah, okay, then the create purchase orders get the rest.
Yeah.
After MRP sorted
Yeah.
stocked items.
Yeah.
but
Yep.
this is where your priorities come into it. So if you mark, if you take the first three are priority one, the second three is two, second four. This is where you tell the MRP, you go, all right, I only want to order priority ones. And then it
Well-
generates the POs.
That's what they
That's what these are here.
No,
Dates.
so-
That's-
so-
those dates will be priority.
Yeah.
So for the priority, you basically just tick on those one or two items. Now, again, if they're separate suppliers, you'll have to, in the MRP display, you'll have to tick individual items if the supplier is different.
Yep.
If it happens to be the same supplier, you can tick them and order them from the same supplier. But if it's a different supplier, then you have to individually tick and click on purchase.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for your
So we
priority-
can't do just a mass purchase at all, generate the POs for all different suppliers.
No, not from MRP display. As you can see, what it does is it assumes if you've ticked all of them, when I click on purchase, it
wants them all
assumes
now.
that you want to order all of them in one PO from the same supplier.
Oh, all right.
It's still going to be faster though, because it'll show you everything from the same supplier. I can group that, click it, done.
Yes.
That still
Yes,
saves
you-
me heaps of time.
Yes. Yes.
Not doom and gloom.
No, not at all. That still saves me a whole heap of time.
So you
But
want to
you-
make sure when you set up your stock items, you put in a default supplier information
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah,
Of
yeah, yeah.
course.
If it's blank, then you'll have to obviously choose one. But if it's not blank, it'll help you
Okay.
save time.
Yeah, of course. And for your priority things, if you wanted to order priority ones, you just search the everything upcoming in the next week, and we
Yeah.
can order that. We
Well-
can all do it by your promise dates.
And normally your priorities are your 6, 8, 9, 12 week stuff. They're all priority ones.
Because the longer
Priority
lead time.
twos are your next sort of,
Mhm.
2 weeks. And then
Yeah, okay. I know.
But
I know what you mean.
priority fives all your shits and bits. Right.
So regardless of the lead time
Mm,
on that material, it's giving you a promise date.
which
Yeah.
is
So it
accurate no
takes
matter what.
into account
Yes,
the
the lead time in it. Because
Yeah.
you'll set that up with the item.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so the promise time is going to be accurate, even regarding if it's going to be a 2-day turnaround or an 8-week turnaround.
Yeah.
The promise date's still going to be accurate.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So
What I suggest to do is use MRP and just click on one or two items, create the purchase order and receive them.
so this has got the lead time in
Which one
days.
was the-
So if this goes. Okay.
Yeah. It'll be a lead time of 7 days,
Lead time
5 days,
7.
7.
Minimum quantity order. Do we need that
No.
on the default? Yeah. So we'll manage that.
Yeah, that's how we'll manage it.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
the lead time and the expected date.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Very similar to your system at the moment.
So what you've done right now is, Nathan, you've defined all the items as stock items. Then you'll have to replan and rethink what items you want to use as stock items and what items you want to use as non-stock items.
just use MRP first and then create purchase orders to do the rest. Still
Mhm.
works very similar to what you wanted.
Yeah, so there is a lot of work involved because what we've done is we've assumed all the items as stock items. So the system is going to try and order all of them. So if
Yeah.
there are 100 items in the bill of material, all of them are stocked items. System will try and plan for all 100. Okay. And that's what it's going to do. So
Yeah,
I would,
that's-
at least I would suggest using the MRP display to create your purchase orders instead of this create purchase orders. The reason is the create purchase orders does not look at my inventory on hand. It purely says if my production order needs it, that means I should order it. It's going PO by production order. That's how
Yeah.
the relation is. Whereas MRP looks at, oh, what is the stock on hand?
Yeah.
Okay, that if I have partial stock, I should not order 100%. I should only order what I need.
So
Yeah.
you can set filters.
Oh, yeah.
We can
Yeah.
create filters and it'll sit here. And we can go
And you
filter
you can
by
share the
source.
filter with
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's order a couple of items and
Filters
make
with
sure we do a
different
purchase receipt.
So let's just go there.
So that'll be
Go
the same.
purchase.
Yeah. Make sure you you create a PO for steel as well. Just say cancel, say cancel.
That should already have.
And
this
I
in
want
front.
you to refresh this whole display screen. Yeah, there we go. Okay, click on purchase now.
There we go.
Yeah, much better. All right, just say create. Yeah, done. Next, where steel? Is there anything for steel?
No, I
Okay,
deleted that one.
Okay, so these two were for the first operation.
Yes.
Okay, let's purchase one for the next operation as well. So just click on manufacture. Sorry, purchase, not manufacture. Manufacture would create the production order. So if I had sub-assemblies and stuff like that, I would click on them and say create a manufacture. It would create the production order for me.
We're not doing that yet.
So would that explode the bomb?
For that sub-assembly.
Yes.
Yes. MRP will explode the bomb for the lowest level to the highest level. That's something you don't have to worry about. So if there were
Hang on,
sub-assemblies
my brain
involved.
worries about everything simultaneously.
Yeah.
Is that so? That manufacture button is the explode bomb, and this is where it'll.
No. The manufacture button is to create a production order for the sub-assembly.
Oh,
Production order. Yeah. In the system. So let's
if
create
these
another
items
purchase
had
order.
Subs on them, it would order that with the item, correct?
It would not order them. It will ask you to create a production order for them so that you can manufacture the sub-assembly.
Okay.
So these are two different suppliers.
Okay.
Yeah, will it generate two different POs?
Just click on refresh. Yeah. Just once you have clicked on the purchase thing, right? Click on refresh.
Weird that ALPO is not coming up.
No, that preferred supplier ID is coming from the item setup. So just click on the first two items if they are separate suppliers. Don't click on the third one and click on purchase. No, okay. No, sorry. Just refresh the whole thing. Yeah. Now choose the supplier code.
Fun.
You can type in by the description of the supplier if you don't know the name. Yeah, and now just say create.
You said there was two
Yeah,
different suppliers.
that's it. Done. Okay. So this is how, see, as you can see, the list is getting smaller. So you know you've already taken care of it, and now you keep moving forward. So MRP display is a much better way of doing things than the create directly from the production order. That's all.
So
Me personally, I would use this.
when this is all set up properly, all the supplier ID will come
Will be
up.
there as well, yes.
Yes.
So
yes.
generally you pick whatever that number is, 1794, you just tick all the
Yes.
1794s, create, your life goes on.
But they'll
Yeah.
will they generate a different PO
Mhm.
based on the promise date?
It will create one PO, but every line has a promise date, and every line promise date will be different.
So the suppliers will see that.
If you are printing that on your PO, then they will see it. If you're not printing the line promise date on the PO, then they will not see it.
That's where I think we need a separate PO per promise date.
Otherwise, we'll get a third of the goods on the PO.
Mhm.
How do they invoice for a third of the goods when our accounts won't pay the PO unless it's
They
might pay partial PO.
but we need a 1-for-1 correlation. If it's going to be delivered on a particular date, we need that purchase order to be
Specific to that.
specific to that order, that delivery.
But you
It
should,
is so think of it just like working in your Excel sheet, Nathan, how you would have done it. And same thing here. It's just that this is also creating the purchase order for you. I know you're not being able to do it in en masse, but you wouldn't be sending purchase orders from Excel en masse either. What you would do is you would fix your Excel sheet, come to MyOb, create purchase orders manually, and then send them. Same thing here. Only thing is, here the system
Yeah.
creates the PO for you. So you're saving time on that front.
Yeah, I've used a system in the past where I don't have to raise everything individually. I just raise a bill of materials
Yeah.
and literally click create PO, and it does all 200 purchase orders for the job and emails it out simultaneously.
So if I use the
Like, that's-
create PO, if I use the create PO option, I can do that. But again, what you've been doing in the past, that I don't know if that system does a check on your current inventory. It just creates a PO based on your production order.
Might be able to
And
filter
that's
it.
what create purchase order does too.
I think we can get around that.
Yeah, it's all right. Eventually,
Yeah.
I think I'll find a loophole.
Yeah, I think we will.
Yeah. So if you want to create it in mass, use the create purchase orders. But then again, the system will not check your inventory. It'll say, my production order needs this. So I will order all of these.
Yep. Yeah,
And then
that's okay.
you have obviously the downside of that is your inventory might explode because you've maintained all the items as stock items.
Mm-hmm.
That's what. So that is a decision I leave up to you.
Yep.
How you
Yep,
want to
that's
manage.
I think we,
Now we've created the purchase orders. Let's go and receive them in stock.
because now we've created them, we still have to actually send them, right? It should
Yeah.
still be on hold, all these new ones.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
because the system is still giving you an opportunity to review them, see the cost, the supplier pricing,
then send.
everything. Yeah.
Okay, so it's created them, we still have to send them though.
Yes. So now generally in a normal in other companies, the planning department is different from the procurement team. So the planning department just sends it across as a PO. The procurement team will see all those POs, will double check whether
An
the
action.
supplier pricing
An
is
action.
correct, and then they will send it across to the supplier.
We're both.
Okay. Yeah. So slightly more work for you guys.
We like that.
So remove hold, not all,
Department.
the first option.
Remove hold. You just remove hold for everything?
you can.
Oh, you
Okay.
can mass remove hold, okay.
This is something Bhavesh has designed for us.
Yeah, I like
This-
it.
This is for me, when I was testing it, just in the test system, it's not in the live, but yeah.
Pretty cool.
Now go and receive the materials.
Because if we did them all, you might have,
So just say
Thirty.
do not print
off hold all of them.
on the top. Do not email. Okay, enter PO receipt now. You can. Yeah.
It's Daddy's. Yeah.
You can just say 1 second. 1 second. Just a sec. I
I can
noticed.
tell you what
one
I
thing.
have to kill you.
All right. I won't
Your-
forget. I was.
Let me just open your calendar, the financial calendar. It is not open. Just a second.
On my op.
Yeah. You can see where it says post period, it's highlighted that in red.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that
because
started
it-
popping up in the live too.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I've
because
been changing it because it won't let me
The-
go any further.
Yeah, right.
yeah, the financial calendar is not open. That's why. Okay, that's all right. I've opened it now. So don't worry.
Financial calendar anyway.
Put in the control quantity, please.
Financial calendar ends on the 7th.
Okay,
It's not the
question for you guys.
Calculation.
Yep.
This control quantity is intentional, right? You all have done the setting intentionally. Correct? To double check
Um,
Oh, control.
the setup.
no.
Sorry, run that by. Sorry, what was that?
So this control quantity that you're entering for
Yeah.
is a setup thing, and I'm asking if you all have done that intentionally, because
No,
it's
that-
part of your process.
Yeah, that control quantity is, comes from the delivery docket. So if we ordered 3 and only got 2, and one's on back order, I'll enter 3 because you got a delivery as well. But then you also change the quantity to 2, and then you release it.
So then you know there's still one.
What-
left.
Yeah, the PO stays open until the other one comes in, then I receipt that in, and then it goes to close.
No. So
Three from three.
I was only asking about the control. It's a setup thing. So yeah, okay. So because in other companies, I've not seen anyone use the control quantity. That's all I was just asking. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
So if we don't have to, if we turn off control quantity in the settings, we
Yeah.
can still, in reality, control the quantities of the receipt by changing the receipt quantity in this field down here. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, let's
Control
do that.
quantity is a completely different functionality.
Okay.
What you're just telling the system is, let's say I have 20 lines, and the total of receipt quantity of all those 20 lines happens to be 30. So I want to make sure my control quantity matches that. Otherwise, don't let me save the document. That's all I'm trying to tell the system there.
This is-
Okay.
What is it?
So I don't believe that's a level of complexity that we require.
No.
I think we can manage
The line by line.
manage it on a line by line, and I don't think we need the extra verification.
Okay. Just 1 second.
Yeah, well, I do for
Yeah,
back
yeah.
orders.
There you go.
But the PO stays up.
Yeah, until we receive.
Okay.
it from-
So if you go to purchases, Nathan, the purchases menu. Purchases, yeah. And under preferences, you'll see purchase order preferences. Open that in a separate tab.
We would have brought your mouse today. But you know,
You see where it says validate total on entry on the left, the second header in red
numbering sequence.
on the left.
Receipt numbering
Ye-
sequence.
Yes. If I untick this and save it, it will not ask me for that control total. Okay. You can do this in live if you want, but that's where you do it. So I leave that up to you. Okay.
So now it won't have the control quantity there.
Yeah.
It won't ask you for it.
It
And the girls in the
won't.
house won't
No.
know that, and it'll do
No.
their head.
Probably.
Okay. So let's go and finish our receipts, please. We are running behind schedule. It's already 11 plus. So
All right.
We need to get.
and we haven't even. Yeah. Let's go back to our purchase receipts and complete them. Release this. And let's go to the next one and do the purchase receipt for that as well. No. Yeah.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Click on enter PO receipt. See, this time it's not asking you for any control tool. You can just click on release. That's it.
I'll stop it.
So when you click release, what happens? Does that email the supplier?
No.
No.
What does it do
This
now?
is you're receiving
We
this
take
item
it
in
to it.
stock.
Okay.
You're receiving the
You
item
go
in
to the
stock.
view then.
Yeah. Putting it in stock.
Got ya. Yep.
Okay.
Now that'll enter that
All
into
right.
inventory.
Now
Okay.
I have created the purchase order. The supplier has sent it across, and I have received it. The person in the warehouse has recorded the receipt. Okay. Now I need to start production. So before I can start production, I need to release my production order. If my production order is in plan status, I cannot do any work on it. For me to start doing work on it in the system, it needs to be released.
And we should only
Okay.
release it when we've got the goods to start it.
No.
No?
You can
Whenever you're ready to start work on it, basically.
Okay. Just whenever it's supposed to
Okay.
commence, we release it.
Yes.
So that release will amend the start date.
No, nothing. It'll just change the status of the order saying it's released, and I can start issuing material to it, and I can start doing move transactions and everything else.
Okay.
That's all it is. Okay. So to release my order, I will click on the release order button on top. If I had to release multiple orders, under production orders, under processes, there is something called release uh, uh, re- release production orders, the first one.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to do, yes, I can tick and I can choose.
Okay,
Okay.
so we could release both of those at once.
You could do
Yeah.
like 3 houses at
Yeah,
once.
but we're never going to start 2 at a time, so that'll never apply to us.
We have done 3
Yeah.
decks at a time.
Okay, so it will in certain
the same day.
situations. Got ya.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Now,
The old decks, right?
Yeah.
now the production order,
Really?
if you see the status, it is released. Now I can start issuing material to the production order. So I would go to production order menu. There are 2 ways to do this again. To issue
So-
materials. Sorry.
So when it's released,
Yeah.
that means it's commenced in zone 1.
It's basically it is ready to the system saying that the production order is ready for transactions. That means you can issue material and you can close operate. So now to see which operation you're in, you can just go to that side panel. Remember that production order details I said
Got one.
on the side panel that you have? Yeah. So if you scroll to the right, it will tell you correct, released. So that's the status of each operation. It is released. Okay. Now, the minute you start issuing stuff to that operation, it will tell you in process. That operation status will change to in process.
So
let's do that.
Still need to get it or allocate it to the job.
Yeah, you need to now issue material to the production order. Okay. So there are again multiple ways of doing this. In the production order maintenance, you can click on the 3 dots and you can say issue material, or there is a menu for it. So, okay. Yeah. And then under transactions, you'll see materials. Yep.
That's what you're talking about, going from this to production in progress.
Yeah.
This is more of
Let's
a
add
big
a,
thing.
yeah, we can add a, just click on
Ish.
plus, please. Now, there are 2 ways to do this. One, I can do one item at a time. So I can click on the plus, I can put in the production order number, okay? And I can put in the item. Another way, if I want to issue mass, I can use the wizard. So you see the wizard on top,
We like it.
and I can choose the production order I want to use. So select your production order
Only active one. Yeah.
and say select on top. Now, this will give you a list of all the items which you can release. Now, I see a lot of items are there which might be in stock already. So it's giving you the choice. And you see there's an operation ID as well on the right-hand side. You can sort it by operation ID and you can only tick the items for that operation. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Got ya. So
Yeah.
first zone will be 0010.
Yeah. In your column selector, see if there is something for work center. Does it say work
yeah.
center?
Negative.
No. Okay. So at least it's giving you the operation number. So you can, let's say I want to release the items only for operation 10. So I will select both of them.
How do you know what work center they correlate to?
That's why I had the code.
Yeah.
My thing was 5 digits long.
So we could tell.
So the first one was the work zone.
Oh, yeah.
The first digit, the 2, 3
Was the work
related
zone.
to the work zone.
And then individual items after that. Yeah. So this way, I don't think we can tell what work zone it correlates to.
No.
This is just item numbers.
and it tells you the operation number for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, operation
once
number
I-
is just the first item in the list. Is it?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, if I click on select,
Oh,
select,
shit.
not select all.
How do I go back?
That back button, I think.
You can just cancel the whole transaction. You don't have to save it. Just go back. Yeah, leave. No worries. Yeah. Just go back to the menu, production order menu, and go back to materials. Basically. Okay, let's try one thing. 1 second. Go back to your screen, which is open. I want to see if the system has options for that. Now, in your side panel, right, you're on the first operation. Click on the 3 dots. Yeah. Does it give me an option to issue materials? No, that's just checking.
Yeah.
No, sorry. So yeah, let's go back to another way is in your production order maintenance, you see the 3 dots there. It transactions, release materials. You see that? Yeah. Just click on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So now just choose the item for operation 10, please. It wasn't that. You have to sort it. Yeah.
Oh, you've sorted it now from 1s to 6s. Okay.
Yeah. And select. Correct. Okay. Once you're happy with this, you have to click on, you have to remove the hold button. You see the hold button under, yeah, correct. And then release. The minute you click on release, the inventory for those 2 items will reduce in the system. And it'll add to the WIP of the production order.
So now they'll be in progress or in production.
Yes. So now if you go back to the production order, I think you already have a tab open for production order. You can go there. Yeah, sorry, not this one. But yeah, you can just go to the production order menu.
Where is it?
No, we closed it. So yeah, there we go. Production order maintenance. Open our production order. Okay. Now, if I want to see the details of my production order, I can look at the side panel. If I scroll to the right of my operation 10, see, it says under process now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, because I have issued material to it. And look at the material section down. It says completed. That means I have already issued those 2 pieces of material.
Yeah.
So it's giving you that information as well. Okay. On the left of your screen, where in the production order maintenance, go to the totals tab. Yeah. Look at the actuals. Okay.
So it was
You
2
actually,
plus 1.
yes. So you have issued material worth that much value to the production order.
Oh, so that's in dollar value, is it?
Sorry?
Okay. That 2.21's dollar value in items
Yes.
released
Yes.
to
Yes.
production. All right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. I see.
whenever now physically someone has said, okay, I have finished this operation, you have to complete this operation in the system. You have to mark it as complete. Okay, so for that, again, you go back to those 3 dots, or not 3 dots, sorry. Where it says on the left, where it says create move transaction, there are 2 ways to do it. either you click here or you go to the menu and under transactions there is a move transaction. So I leave that up to you on how you want to do it. Okay, so then I will, in order to complete this, I will say quantity 1, operation 10, and I will release. That's it.
So this is moving it from one.
Operation to the other. So you're
So
telling the
it's
system
not.
here,
So it's not moving it from one work center to another.
it will move. So whenever the new work center happens, now your first 2 operations happen in the same work center, if I'm not mistaken, from what I can see.
Yeah, but
So it's
I'm wondering if if that hierarchy's incorrect. Whether we need to have multiple work centers to one operation ID.
I that's up to you how you've created the bill of material. So you could have created one operation per work center and used all the material there, and that would have shortened your bill of material master as well.
No, it wouldn't have shortened it.
No, in the sense that you would have less number of operations. See, what you've done is you've captured each and every operation in the same work center. So you have 5 operations in the same work center. That means you have to create a move 5 times in that same work center because each operation has to be completed. Now you could have created 1:1 correlation that each operation can belong to a separate work center, but that's up to you. I'm just saying this is the setup that you have in the system right now.
Hmm.
You still want multiple operations under the same work center.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now if you click on release, let's just click on release and close this pop-up window. Now in the side panel, just click on that cancel thing to refresh. Next to the hold button, there is a sort of a, yeah, just click on that. It'll just refresh it. Now, if you go into the right, you'll see what's happened with that operation. It's completed. So now you can start work on the next operation. So now you will issue material in the next operation. Okay.
Mhm.
So we can again go back to release materials and issue materials for operation 20. And same thing, move. After that, we will move. So this way, as and when your production is progressing, that's what you do. You issue materials, and when it's completed, you do the move transaction to say that my operation is completed. So someone will have to keep updating you because that person on the shop floor does not have access to MyOb. So you must be receiving some kind of paperwork at the end of the day or whenever saying that, okay, this operation is done. So you have to make sure you update the system regularly. So if you highlight the second operation, yeah. So see what's happened is you've issued one material which is completed. The other one is still pending. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this way you will have to issue all the materials, complete the operation, then move to the next operation. Same thing. So in the system, you have to do that.
Issuing it to the job.
Now, from an admin perspective, if you want to keep it simple, you can create a simple BOM, one operation, one work center, and all the materials that's required. But since you created the BOM in so much detail, you have to maintain it like that. Every transaction that you do is for that specific operation, and then you have to move to the next one.
So we might have to simplify our bill of materials slightly. Otherwise, we're going to spend all of our day just completing tasks.
in here.
Yeah, we'll
And
have
what will
to-
happen is
Streamline
when
that
you
process.
what will happen is when you complete the last operation in the system will generate inventory for your finished product. So your tiny home will be created, and then you have to give it a serial number, which is your project code. So that's what I'm saying. Let's receive all the material. Let's do the entire thing. Let's go to the whole thing. At least this way you'll know what it takes, and then you can make decisions on how you want to do that. So let's receive all the material in stock. Let's issue all of them in one go.
All right.
So release all the materials.
Yeah. Select all. Yeah. Yeah. Remove the hold. Release. Okay. Let's go back to the production order, please.
And say that everything's done.
So I don't think we had everything in stock, but at least we'll see what we have done so far. Let's open the side panel. Okay, so we issued all the materials for the first operation. Let's look at the second one.
That's complete. Everything else is in process now.
Yeah. And there's quite a few which are released. That means we don't have material on hand at all. Okay. Now, if you look at the total tab on the left-hand side, so you only issued material worth 3,000 or almost 2,800. Okay. The planned material cost was around 3,100.
There's not
And
much
it's
left.
obviously, yeah. Anyway, so what we'll do is we'll not issue more materials to the production order. Okay. We want to complete the whole process. So let's go to create move transaction, please. All right. Now I can take a shortcut here, Nathan. Okay. If I want to release all my operations, multiple operations in one go, I want to mark them as completed. I click on the plus sign. No. Not that plus. The one in the middle. Yeah. Yep. Same production order number. Yep. Operation 30. Correct. 1. Correct. Next line. How many operations were there? So yeah, just keep going. Operation 40. Yeah. Keep going. Now, if I want to take a shortcut here, I can export this to Excel and I can upload it from Excel as well.
It will be
Yeah.
easier for you to copy all those through, wouldn't it? On Excel.
Yeah. Let's, for the purpose of this training exercise, let's do it manually. At least you know what the effort is required. Now, you would be doing this one by one because obviously every operation takes time. So they might not be reporting it on the same day. Okay. So let's keep going till you reach 110.
6 more.
Yeah.
Probably done by now. He's out of touch.
Now
Now he's got it. Now he's got it.
Yeah,
no.
Going back, Phil.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is
Understood.
the fastest way. It's the way you showed me how to do it, David.
You forgot 60. Operation
That's
60.
Just go 60 there and move that one up.
Does the operation ID validate depending on the production order?
Yeah.
This is where your inventory.
Now I want you to only do it till 100 and release it. Okay.
Do it.
Yeah, that's it.
Please.
Yeah.
Because they're all the operations we had in this wasn't it? Really?
No, there's one more. There's the final operation is
There's
still
one more.
there.
Okay.
Okay, close this and refresh the side panel, please. And now look at the status of all the operations.
It should all be in progress.
No,
Completed now, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
except the last one.
Now, when I complete my last operation, let's go and create a move transaction for my last operation, please. All right. Since I set up the item to require a lot serial number, the system will ask me to put in the lot serial number. So please put in the lot number here. Yeah, and that can be your project code. So PRO1234 or PR01234. Yeah. Okay. And then I will release. Okay. Let's close the window. Refresh my side panel. Now, see what's happened to the status of the production order. It says complete. I have completed all my operations. That means I have issued all the materials that were required and I have completed all my operations. On the left-hand side, if you refresh that, you'll see the status of the production order change from in process to completed. Okay, so it says completed. Look at the totals now. Okay, that's standard. Since we are not dealing with labor, that's what I have issued to the. So if anyone looks at my production order, they know, okay, this was the material I had planned for. This is what I have issued. So there is a variance. So I either under issued in this case or I over issued. That means something was broken or whatever. I can always get the details of what I issued from the production order details. Okay. If I click on the events tab, I can also see all my transactions. So Nathan, if you don't mind clicking on the events tab, please. So it tells me what are my different transactions that happen. And it gives you the batch number as well. So if I click on any of that one of those batches, I'll see what transaction that was. So this way I can do an audit on my production order. Okay. Now, just because the status is completed in the system doesn't mean the production order is closed. I have to do something called an accounting close in the system. Okay. So go back to production orders.
Do we need to know about this though? We won't be doing this.
You'll have to, the person who's maintaining the production orders will have to do it. So go to production order menu, please. Either you or the finance team. And generally the finance teams, so under processes, you'll see something called close production orders. The finance team generally asks the manufacturing team to do this, okay, because you're the one controlling the production order. You have to do this part. And this you can do multiple in one go. You can set this up in a schedule if you want. Okay. So yeah, just say process all. There's only one.
Yeah, we just process it.
Does this
Something
does this only show up
completed.
Yeah, only for
after it's
completed order.
completed?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess we could do that in a weekly, something when we have sign-offs.
I'll set it up on a routine
Yeah. Okay.
to go every day.
Yeah.
Right.
And now I also want you to go to inventory. Yeah, go to the inventory module. Go to inventory summary under inquiries. And look up your item template, something it was called, right? And say expand by lot serial number. Okay, now scroll to the right. See, you have one on hand, and that's the lot serial number. And look at the cost of the item. Does that number seem familiar to you? It's
Total
the
material.
Yeah.
it's the raw materials that you issue to your production order. Same cost.
Yep.
So all that raw material cost has gone into this one item. And the next step is to issue this item to the project. So then in the project, you can see the cost.
Didn't we already see that before?
No, that was the production order. Now I'm talking about the project.
Okay.
Yeah. So first, let's issue this item
Yeah, because
to the project.
put into the project as well as a separate.
Yeah. So you in inventory, you will go to issues. Correct. Yep. You just click on the plus over there, actually. Yep. Template. Yep. Yeah.
This is adding to your project.
Put in the lot serial number, please. And put in the project code.
Oh,
Yeah, keep going. Put in the project code. Yeah. I think 643, I think it was.
Oh yeah,
You can look it up if you want.
it was
Yeah.
643.
And put in the project task, which was 0040. Yeah. And release. Now, if you look at the project, you'll see it there.
So it should come up as 643. Okay, active, nice.
And if you look at the balances tab, see, look at the expense material. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
2898.
up until
Yeah.
then, when we were releasing materials, it would have sat in WIP.
Yeah, above.
Yes.
The top
Yeah.
one. Got ya.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So whoever is looking at that project knows, oh, it's still under WIP. And once it's completed and you've issued it, it'll be
And it's
under
no longer
material.
working in progress and it goes to expense material.
Yeah.
Yes.
Makes
Yes.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, this completes the entire cycle of a production order. Now you know how much work you need to do from a system perspective. So now you need to make decisions on how detailed you want to make the bill of material. Okay.
Yep.
Now you looked at the bill of material we covered yesterday. It has many operations in the same work center. So
Yes.
that means you'll have to, when you create a production order, you'll have to complete each and every operation. Okay. That means you're actually tracking it exactly like for like. That means that person on the shop floor will have to tell you, I finished operation 1. So you do that in the system.
They also need to know what operation 1 is.
Yeah. Yeah. So all of that. Now, for the sake of saving you time, you can create only milestone operations and then issue the materials to that milestone operation. And when it's done, just complete that operation in the system.
That's not.
I leave that up to you on how you want to do it.
We'll discuss that.
Because if you,
We've got a baseline to work off now.
Yeah, but there'll be a lot of changes, Nathan, which you will have to do, and we'll have to make sure we do those changes in live. I'm talking about master data changes.
That's
So make a
fine.
note, make a note of whatever changes you make here, because then we'll have to do the same thing in live.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, we haven't discussed any accounting bit yet. And
You want to get Bruce
obviously,
in now?
yeah, so yeah, you want to get Bruce in,
Yes.
see if he's available. If not
Yep.
today, then first thing next week, whenever he's available. But he needs to know all the accounting entries that are happening.
I think we should maybe do it early next week.
He might need more than half an hour.
Okay.
I'll just go check with him.
Yeah, no worries.
Didn't need more than half an hour to get his head around this easily.
And make sure. Oh, even Bryce has stepped out. Okay.
No,
I'll wait for them to come. Oh, Bryce is there. Sorry. Yeah. I'll just wait for Nathan to get back. But make sure test. Please test. Do not take shortcuts in testing. Make sure you're testing what you do on a day job, normal day to day. Okay. If you can
Yeah, will
manage
do.
to break the system, whatever, that's fine. The point is because when you go live, you have to be confident with this. You know, it's going to be
Definitely.
your baby on a day to day basis.
Yep.
So yeah,
It's
test.
just setting up the parameters for everything.
I know. If
And
your
making
setup
sure
is
the guys that are
incorrect,
fabricating also know the processes involved, so they can relay that
Yeah.
to us.
yeah, and
The
you
other-
know the
the
amount
other
of
issue-
effort it takes for every
The-
transaction. So
Yeah.
The other issue is, like, I've worked with Business Central, and this is sort of the same setup.
yeah,
That makes sense.
Bruce. There you go. Yeah. Pick your seat.
Can you see from back there?
Probably better than I can. Put his glasses on.
That's true.
We can zoom in where you need it. So that'll be our main task, is trying to sort out what operations, what's involved in an operation, so that the guys on the floor know when they've completed one to let us know. Otherwise, if they don't know what operations have they completed, how can they tell us?
and whether you want to record each and every operation in the system or you want to just summarize it,
Yeah.
it's completely up to you.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, sorry.
Life savings of the floor.
Hey, 10 cents can grow. Get 50 years, Bruce. I have $4.
Okay. Hi, Bruce.
Inflation will make it 10 cents
Yeah.
again.
Hi, Bruce.
Yeah.
I think we met once before, but yeah. So, Bruce, what we've completed today is the manufacturing module. Now, obviously, we've gone through all the different steps that are required for them to do the manufacturing in the system. Now, every transaction that happens in the system will create a financial transaction. And we need to have a couple of accounts set up as well in the system for it to function properly. So we already have a VIP account in place. What I would also need from you is a VIP variance account. There is no VIP variance account. It's an expense account, okay, which we need to have. Okay. Now, the first, what happens is when they issue material to a production order, the system follows this. This is the transaction that you'll see. Actually, if you don't mind me sharing my screen now, Nathan, is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I'll share my screen.
We are recording this session, Bruce, just by the way.
Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. So, Bruce, what we've just done is we've created a production order called PR01234, and we've issued material to it, and we've created a finished good, which is a home from it. And and we are only capturing material cost at this time. So this was the planned material cost for the production order. This is what we have issued and got from the system. And there is a variance of 236. Okay. So let me just go to the finance. And show you the accounting entries. So this is the VIP account I have used. I did not find a WIP variance account, so I just put it in other operational costs. Okay, this is something we need to create, a WIP variance account.
So I think, Bruce, you said the other day you wanted a particular account used for the WIP account that was 5081.
Well, when we do the entry on the WIP, you have one that goes in the balance sheet, and then you have one that goes in the P&L.
So
it
this one goes to
adjusted-
the balance sheet, I think. And it's supposed to go to the balance sheet. So
You mean
I'll just show you the
variance
transactions.
account? The variance account goes to the balance sheet?
No, the variance account goes to your P&L.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will be your P&L account. Okay, so let's just, so whenever we issue material to a production order, okay, the system posts the following entry. Let me just see. Okay, it will basically say work in progress account debit to inventory account, raw material inventory account, credit. So what it will do is it uses your work in progress account like a control account. So every time I issue material, that value of the cost of that material will go into my WIP account. And when I finally create my finished good, okay, my last operation, basically when I complete my last operation, the system will say finished good inventory account debit to WIP. So my WIP generally goes to 0, okay, and the inventory account, I noticed that for tiny homes, we don't have separate accounts for raw materials and for finished goods. So what we are doing now is we are separating them by component items and finished goods. So I recommend having a separate GL account for your finished good as well.
So a
Okay.
component part being
Yeah.
all the raw materials that we buy in, and a finished good being an actual house,
A house piece
That's-
is finished.
a finished house.
Yeah.
That's the thing we're producing.
Okay. And then we do an accounting close. Okay. And the accounting close will only, as you can see over here, there is a variance. And this would only come into play if I was using standard costing. Okay. But in our case, since we are using actual costing, right, there will not be much passed to your variance account. But okay, so and then what we do, our final step is we issue the finished good to my project. So what it does is it's basically crediting my finished good inventory and debiting my cost of goods sold. So that way I can see it in my project. Where is my project? There. So when I look at my balances of my project, I can see under expense material will be the expense of the item. During the manufacturing process, you will see it as an asset in the WIP account. But once it's completed and issued to the project, it will transfer from the WIP to the expense, COGS account, basically. Who manages projects in the system, Bruce? Is it you?
Or what do you mean by managed projects?
So who creates new projects, loads the budgets, then we do all transactions in the project. So they manage the balances and sees what's happening with the project.
Well, Monique creates, so admin role creates the project.
Yeah.
The budgets I think she puts the budget in, but she's not breaking it up by payment claims or anything at the
It hasn't
moment.
really been in.
Mhm.
There's been no real development of process around project control or management.
Okay. Because there will be a change management because of manufacturing being bought in, the way you create your project now will be different. So the person who's maintaining this on a day-to-day basis, they need to be updated, saying, going forward, we need to create projects in this manner because we are using manufacturing. We do not want to put in cost budgets for all the materials that we have. So this is what your current project looks like. Okay, I'm just picking up a random one. So you look at this: aircon, appliance, bath, all of this, decking, all of this material, right, will go into your production order. That means you don't need any of this in the project anymore. So the person who's managing projects, you will need to update them that there is change management coming. Because we are implementing manufacturing, this whole thing will change. And how you process this will change. So you
How
need,
can we categorize the costs
Mhm.
associated to a project task? I think I might have a way to do that if that's what you need on a
For reporting, we
As a-
would need to know.
as a grouping.
Mm.
But do you use that for work in progress reporting, or
Not work in progress, but
what type of reporting do you use it for?
well, you're running at all your costs, and it splits it up so that if we have a question about blowing out,
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah, you can
go
see
to
what
each
it.
individual item,
See where it is.
find out where it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
You say, well, trailer's got 20 grand against it, should only have 10 or whatever.
So there's probably a different way to do that now through the production order.
Mm.
And,
Which is
and
attached to
that's
the
how we
project.
can see the costs.
Yeah.
And the
And-
quantities and everything associated to it. And
Yes. And you will need to involve everyone, Nathan, because like I said, this impacts everyone downstream and upstream manufacturing. So if they are not aware of this, they will keep creating projects in the old way and nothing will work. Then the system will not work the way you want it to. So
I'll show you the
yes.
production, the bill of materials and the production order.
Yeah, I mean, this is all new to me, so
All new to all of us.
it'll take me a bit to
Yes.
process it.
Yes. So we've completed our training today. So the next step is to do a user acceptance testing, Nathan. And
Yep.
This is when you make sure you involve the entire team, telling them on something new is coming, and this will impact stuff downstream, upstream. It will also impact the way we are creating our master tables. So, and you need to involve Bruce, obviously, since he's finance,
Mhm.
and anyone else who manages projects. So, whatever
Yep.
screens we've touched item master, for example. So, who maintains item master? You need to involve them. We've
Mhm.
also touched projects. So whoever maintains projects, you will have
Yep.
to involve them as well in your
Mhm.
training, in your testing. Okay. And Bruce, obviously, because every transaction that we do has a financial impact. So Bruce will start seeing these transactions in the system and he'll not have an idea what they are.
Mhm.
Yeah. If he
Sure.
doesn't know that they're coming.
Yep.
So yeah. Okay. I'm happy to do another session in case if you want to involve the whole team, just let me know. But yeah, Steve, Bryce, how was the training today? I hope it was all right.
Definitely informative. Thank
No,
you.
very good.
Yeah.
Pravesh.
Yeah, and yeah, obviously you know the amount of effort required now to do normal transactions, right? So you can sit down with Nathan and decide how complex or how easy you want this thing to be.
We'll definitely be going through it. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Nathan, do you have any other questions for me today?
No, that's it at the moment. That's been amazing, Bhavesh. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. And yeah, like I said, get the whole team together. Any questions, whatever, we can do another screen share. I can answer all
Yeah.
questions. I can take them through the whole process from start to finish so that Bruce is aware of what we are thinking, our thought process is,
Yep.
And even the person who's managing projects. So if they might have questions, we can answer those and take it from there. Whatever.
Yep. No worries.
Okay.
Thanks again.
Yep,
All
thank
right,
you.
gentlemen. Yeah. Thank
Have
you
a
so
great
much for your
afternoon.
time. Yeah. Have a good Friday.
Thank you.
Bye.
You too.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
Cheers.
See you, Bhavesh.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.